What if the reason you struggle to be fully yourself isn't because you don't know who you are, but because you are afraid of what might happen if people really saw you? If being honest feels risky, if vulnerability makes you anxious, or if you learned to hide parts of yourself to feel safe, this episode is for you. Welcome back to my podcast. I'm your host, Justina. In the last episode, we talked about what it means to live as your authentic self, to come home to who you really are. So today, we are continuing that conversation by gently exploring something that often stops us from fully doing that, and that's if the fear of being seen. The fear of being judged, the fear of being misunderstood, the fear of being too much or not enough. So, if you ever held parts of yourself back, your thoughts, your emotions, your truth, this episode is for you. So, let's take a breath together and begin. So, being seen doesn't just mean being noticed, it means being emotionally visible, expressing your real thoughts, showing your needs, allowing others to see your imperfections, letting your truth exist without editing. For many people, that feels deeply unsafe because being seen means vulnerability, and vulnerability carries risk of rejection, risk of judgment, risk of not being accepted. So instead, we hide, not because we are dishonest, but because we are protecting ourselves. The fear of being seen is almost always learned. Often in childhood, we discover that expressing emotions led to criticism, speaking up causes conflict, being different meant being excluded, needing too much felt like a burden, and being yourself wasn't always safe. So we adapted. We became quieter, easier, more pleasing, more careful, not because something was wrong with us, but because we were trying to belong and choose patterns that follows us into adulthood. So, how the fear shows up in adult life. You might fear being seen if you downplay your feelings, avoid sharing your opinions, struggle to express needs, keep people at a distance, feel anxious about being judged, perform confidence instead of feeling it, feeling exposed when you're honest, or crave connection but fear closeness. You might want to be authentic, but feel frozen when the moment comes. The inner conflict that the inner conflict can feel exhausting. Wanting to be yourself, but fearing the consequences. So, when you hide parts of yourself, you may feel disconnected, lonely, even around others, unseen, misunderstood, resentful, or emotionally tired. Hiding protects you from rejection, but it also blocks true connection. You can't be deeply loved for who you are if you're only showing who you think you should be. And over time, this leads to self abandonment. How to create safety to be seen. So start seeing yourself. Before asking others to see you, you must see yourself. Acknowledge your emotions, validate your needs, respect your limits. Self trust creates inner safety. Separate the past from the present. Just because it wasn't safe to be seen before doesn't mean it isn't safe now. You are not longer the child who depended on others for survival. You have choice now. Practice being seen in small ways. So you don't have to reveal everything at once. Start with expressing a presence, sharing a feeling, setting a boundary, or being honest in low risk situations. Confidence grows through gentle exposure. Choose safe people. Not everyone deserves access to your inner world. Being authentic doesn't mean oversharing. Let yourself be seen by those who are emotionally safe. Accept that not everyone will understand you, and that's okay. Being understood doesn't mean you're wrong, it means you're human. Your authenticity will resonate with the right people. When you let yourself be seen, your nervous system relaxes, your relationships deepen, your self trust grows, your energy returns, and your life feels lighter. Your confidence becomes quieter but stronger. You stop performing, you stop hiding, you start living. And even when it feels uncomfortable at first, it feels honest. So, if you're afraid of being seen, it doesn't mean you're weak. It means you learned to survive. And now you're learning to live. You don't have to force yourself into visibility. You don't have to rush vulnerability. You don't have to expose yourself to unsafe spaces. You only need to take one gentle step toward the truth, and that's enough. And as per usual, I have some journal questions for you. You can answer them whenever you have time. And I just want you to remember that these are just for yourself. So I want you to be 100% honest with the answers. You don't have to share them with anyone. So just do them for yourself. And the first question is, what parts of myself am I afraid to show? What am I afraid might happen if I'm fully myself? And who feels emotionally safe for me to open up to? And I, of course, have some weekly action steps for you. So I want you to share one honest thought or feeling this week with anyone you want, possibly with someone you really trust, because it might be a bit easier for you. Um, I want you to remind yourself daily, my feelings are valid. Just keep saying it to yourself every single day. You can write it down where you might be able to see it. You can write it down a little post note and just stick it to your wall. Anywhere where you will be able to see it. I also have an affirmation for you this week, and I want you to keep repeating, I am safe to be seen. As we come to the end of today's episode, I want you to remember this. You don't owe the world a performance. You don't have to shrink to be accepted, and you don't need permission to be yourself. Being seen is not about exposure, it's about self trust. Thank you for spending this time with me. Thank you for choosing courage, honesty, and growth. If this episode resonated with you, feel free to follow the podcast or share it with someone who might need this reminder. And don't forget to say hi on my Instagram at positive.mindset.adventures. Until next time, take a deep breath, honor your truth, and remember, you are allowed to take up space. Thank you, see you, and bye.